out the house with my swagger, hop in that window, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control.
This guy. Greatest wrestler of the modern age. Okay. We celebrate Coach Gable, as we should. Because in 72 Olympics, he goes through unscored on, right? This guy did 7 years of unscored on. 7 years. 13 world titles in a row. We don't have anybody in the modern age like that. We look, John Smith, that's awesome. Yeah, 6. You're halfway there, John. Okay? This kid that gets 4th in the NCAAs, this is his best finish. When you look at his bio, it's awesome. It's Olympic champion. It's Olympic bronze medalist. It's 4th in the NCAAs. He beats the unbeatable guy. Yeah. Obviously, if you're trying to win your 4th Olympic gold medal, you've been at this a while. So, I get it, he's old, okay? But I stood next to him in Atlanta during the games one time in the warm-up area. He's got tallies like this. Look over at him, I'm like, your forearms, my thighs. Your forearms are big. So, you know, what a monster. This guy beats him, okay? I got another kid that wrestled at OU. Went down there, did a walk-on, started getting money as a senior because he wrestled varsity for him, senior year. I never thought that would happen. He went there because I had 4 other kids go there from our high school team. He's like, I'll just go with those guys. And he just stayed in the room, and ended up being varsity his senior year. Marcus Amato did not qualify for nationals, but wrestled varsity at OU. Okay, that's a pretty big deal. That kid is like this. He was a JV kid for me. He was a Fargo All-American in Greco. The next year, his junior year, he places. His senior year, he places. Then he goes to OU. Now, at the senior banquet, he gets up and he says, you know, he was on this team where there's 5 national champs, 12 All-Americans, all this stuff. He's been a JV kid against those kids. Now all of a sudden, he makes varsity and he places. He's happy as all get out, goes to OU. But how did he get there? He took the vehicle of Greco. You know, if you're a Greco-Roman All-American and a JV wrestler, you probably think you're going to win. Okay? So, again, those avenues, all I'm saying is, this right here goes down in American folklore history as being the single greatest upset in wrestling. And rightfully so. And it's done by a kid that gets 4th in the NCAAs, University of Nebraska. Now, all I'm saying is, are there kids in our rooms that could be great Greco kids that we could build their confidence on that might not right now be great folk style kids? And I would argue there is. There's somebody in your room. I've got a kid right now at 182. It's his first year of wrestling, but he's an athlete. And we don't have a lot of those, okay? So he walks in and he starts throwing kids that know how to throw. You know why? Because our kids that throw, they'll lock up with him. And this kid just doesn't know any better. He'll throw both of you on your head. He'll go to his own head, but he'll throw you on yours too. Okay? Now we just teach him a little bit. He's going to be throwing them on their head and not landing on his own head. Okay? But there's a kid that I think next year, Mo Wiles is his name, and I think next year he'll play in State Missouri. And people are going to want to know where this kid came from. Because he's not been out there at all, because this year is his first year wrestling. Okay? So, we'll see how it turns out, but I called yesterday to find out how he did in the tournament. He goes, oh, I went 2-2. I go, you went 2-2? That's awesome. You won 2 matches. You're telling me that, right? He goes, oh yeah, coach, I won 2 matches. I sure won 3. I just blew it. I was ahead, and I don't know what I did. Still don't know what I did. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll fix it Monday. Yes?
I talked to my nephew. He was here yesterday. He left early. Never wrestled before. My brother-in-law's got a nasty attitude. That is the worst marriage ever, I think, if you ask me. They're both like real mean people, my sister and him.
Okay.
Got a kid that's got all the intensity. He got a lot of hate in him, you know what I mean? And he plays baseball, good athlete. I said, no, wrestling's a sport. He doesn't have enough. He's getting in trouble at school, doing this. So I took him to one wrestling practice, then I put him in the Kern County tournament and down in Bakersfield. Goes in there. He just came off a broken leg 2 weeks ago. Goes in there, beats the state champion. I just taught him a double leg. Boom, just taking the kid down, breaks him. Then he loses to a kid that does Greco. Threw him in a head and arm, and he tries to get into that head and arm game with him because he's frustrated. But then he tosses himself on his head and tosses the kid on his back, and ends up losing like 14-12 or something like that. He was pissed. He goes, "I want revenge." I said, "We're not gonna go to no tournaments. We're gonna go to that camp. You're gonna go with me." He was here yesterday. He's the little dark kid out here in the corner you're working with.
Okay.
With the baseball shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah. His name is Caleb.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you see, there's Caleb's out there. And if we could get them, these kids will take big risks. And if you can put them in a big risk situation, then I've got a kid that I love to pieces. He just went out and signed with Colorado State yesterday. Texted me and his buddy, my 38 pounder, they both signed out there yesterday. And I was like, good for you. But he's a kid, I love him, his technique is unbelievable. But he will not pull the trigger when it needs to, okay? And that's something, again, I don't know as a coach, we can introduce it to him all we want. But in the end, in that important moment, they got to want to pull that trigger.
Oh, yeah.
And you got some kids that
he
can't.
makes 4th out of 16 people, never.
Yeah.
And it hurt him all week long. He was thinking about that loss.
Well, but again, there are those cases. We need to be functioning for them, I think.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I think you're here. This kid right here, Sammy Henson, probably the greatest accomplished wrestler in state history of ours. And he's out here at Cal Poly for a little bit, and everywhere he's gone, he has produced a lightweight champion or finalist. Yes, and it doesn't matter wherever he goes. That's like a given. It happens. We trained a lot together when he was younger. We did not wrestle live because I was older and stronger at the time. And then he beat me in the U.S. Open Finals, Greco. And it's just one of those kind of things that I think that there's a perfect example of a kid that he just went through. Now, he was Greco-Roman OW at Fargo, okay? He turned around and then won the high school state tournament the very next year. He did not throw one single time in the state tournament, okay? But he destroyed everybody, okay? But it's because he's disciplined enough that he pulls the trigger when he needs to. But I will tell you this, if you challenge that little guy upstairs, you're gonna end up on your head, okay? And I was behind in a college match one time, 4-0. And this guy kept running and running and running, and I got frustrated, I got taken down, and then it just got out of hand on me. I got an escape, I chose neutral again, thinking I could get it. In the end, I'm losing this match, and then finally, 17 seconds left in it, he overhooks me. And I'm like, that's all I needed, just one. Okay? String to his back, held me for 5, win the match 5-4. But my kids have that in their back pocket. Trevor Engel, he wrestles at Cornell College in Iowa now. He's a 2-time qualifier. He's in the state semifinals, and he gets the guy comes out and takes him down. We get an escape. I'm like, okay, we get taken down like in 17 seconds. Now you guys that listen to that 3-hour or 4-hour barrage I gave you yesterday, 5-hour, okay. I didn't shut the time.
Thank you, by the way, that was great.
But the bottom line is, you know me, everything's defense. If one of my kids gets taken down in 17 seconds, I'm like ready to kill somebody. And normally it's them. And so, I'm like, oh, God, I'm over there having an aneurysm. He gets an escape. He shoots in on a shot. The guy snaps him down, runs behind. And I'm like, oh, my God. We're 35 seconds into this thing. We get up 2 takedowns. We're going to lose this battle. State semifinals. Everybody's going nuts. And all of a sudden, he gets another escape. We go into second period. We choose down. We get an escape. He jumps into a single right here. And this guy pulls up a wizard. Pull it up. And then that drill we did with all those kids yesterday, we do it almost every day in Greco all places. He takes one step here and goes and pins him. Match over. And it's like, okay, we were going to lose that match. So, but the Greco thing, and it was instantly, yeah, exactly. We can pin people we can't beat. And so, drop in, boom, and all of a sudden I see this guy pull up, I'm like, oh, please, God. And there it is. And so, Greco will show up when you need it. This is a question I ask in all my clinics, but when do you kill a monster? When it's a baby, okay? Because that dragon is on fingertips, as you can see. And right now, he's got smoke coming out. It's like, you can kill that thing right now. Throw it on the ground, stop while it's done. But you let that thing grow up and it can't fit in this room, you've got a catastrophe on your hands, okay? So my point is, when I talk about this is that Greco will stop so many things from happening and you'll kill the monster before it starts, okay? Here's what I'm talking about. Okay, what's your best move?
Best one?
Yeah. And neither of us are warmed up right now, so. Really? Okay. All right. I love that, but okay. Now, so, right-handed? Okay, so at least I'll see it coming. Left-handed, you don't see that coming, okay? That's the problem with the lefty, all right? Now, the thing is, as long as I don't give you any hip space, you're going to have trouble throwing me a headlock, okay? And what I'm saying is, his best move is a headlock. But if I don't give any hip space, there's no space between us, he probably won't get a headlock. But the other thing is that Greco teaches my kids, and Coach can attest this, my kids will have one of your hands. If we start wrestling, it's like we come out, we shake hands, and it's like, okay, I'll own that one today. You know? But it doesn't matter. But for the rest of the match, it's like I don't even want to give this hand back. But because the rest of the match, I will own one of the hands. It doesn't matter what you do. If we come out and start wrestling, and this is folk style, by the way. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's all I want is a hand. If I get one of your hands and I keep it, pretty soon you get pissed off and now you want the hand back. Now how do you get your hand back? You're not even in your stance anymore. You know what I mean? Kids start doing weird stuff. Like, you know, he's got my hand and I'm like doing stuff like this. And I don't know the last time you guys walked into a room and go, okay, here's our stance. We're gonna do this, you know? If you can take, you know, we always talk about take the kid out of his stance. How in the world do you do that from out here? You know? Now I know Brahmin, he can move unbelievably. So what he's got going, and the genetic. And he does a few of these, and pretty soon you're doing that, and then he gets you off, okay? But, Greco, I can force you where I want you, because I'm gonna put my hands on you, okay? If I put my hands on you, you're going to try to pull it out. When you do, as soon as the kid starts pulling and I see his foot coming from his knee, it's like, oh, how neat a single is that?
All of it in. Yeah.
It's all day, you know? So we do swing single and head inside single. But we don't have to penetrate very far because you're going to bring your foot to us, okay? So, just food for thought on this. And then here, how bad do you want to feel this good? Okay. That's Besic there. That's the Russian that died just about 5 months ago, tragically. You know, he's a multi-time world champion, phenomenal human. Okay, but you know, and here's the neat thing. This is Dake, so you know he's not. That's not him getting beat. Okay, that's him winning. All right. So how bad do you want to feel this good? And I think that if we're turning over every rock for our kids, and we're going to take this chance in Greco, and we're going to say, man, I'm going to learn something that makes me feel uncomfortable. But as soon as you make your kids feel uncomfortable, they start realizing how much more of wrestling they could learn. Because in everything that we did yesterday, and then finish this part up here. A disciplined team. I love this picture. It's a picture of Russian kids in southern Russia, and they are, you know, they give you that look like, I'll take you out back and dump you, you know? And so, I just love that. They're not trying to be tough. They don't have scowls on their faces. It's just, their body language is like, you want to wrestle?
Right.
Let's wrestle. Let's have some fun. I'll throw you on your head, you know? And so, I just love that. I think that part of it is, when you don't turn in, you know, wrestling comes down to 3 things, USA Wrestling says. Number 1, you must have total wrestling. That means top, bottom, neutral. I can wrestle all phases of the game. Top, bottom, neutral. It's like going into a football game and saying, well, we got a great offense, but we suck on special teams. You're going to lose a lot of games, okay? You've got to have all phases of the game. We have to do the same thing in wrestling. Top, bottom, neutral, you got to be good. And then, universal wrestling. When somebody stops you at your best move, do you have another move? Because universal wrestling says you have multiple holds. Greco opens up 1/3 more of a world to you, and it makes no sense to me that you would not capture that amount of data. And then finally, it takes risk. And you talk about teaching risk, oh my God, going backwards with another human in your arms, that's risk. That's a lot greater risk than taking a single or a double in a tight match. Okay? Throw somebody in a tight match. All right? And when you do that, and your feet are going to have to be perfect, and your lock is going to have to be great to do that. So, and then this guy here. I mean, what if we've seen the last of David Taylor? Wouldn't that suck? That would suck. This kid is awesome for our sport. Okay? He shows up to the weigh-ins and he puts his Clark Kent glasses on, walks up in his underwear and his Clark Kent glasses. He's standing there, I've got the clipboard going, he goes, Howard. I looked up, I'm like, Howard? Okay, step up, Howard. He's just having fun. I'm telling you what, you can walk into 10s on weigh-ins, and they normally do weigh-ins like, take a large gym like 5 times this size and they put scales here, they got bodies lined up here like they do, But you could walk in there, all the coaches are in there, and you could cut the air with a knife and separate it out. It is so tense. And yet, this kid walking out going, Howard. I'm like, okay, Howard, Nobody does that. This kid did. Okay? But he's very comfortable with what he does and how he does it. But he's done with college. Coach, where do I go from here? I hope that we provide places, for kids to go. Whether it's, the Travis Lees of the world or whoever it is. Because we need to keep these people in our sport. And an international dream. I mean, when we were thinking we may lose wrestling in the Olympics, I don't know about you, but I couldn't sleep some nights. It was driving me crazy. Because do you realize how much of my life that is? I mean, I go around the country going, hey, you can make an Olympic team. No, you can't now. It would have killed everything that I work for. Okay? And what's it kill? It kills the dream, which is worse than almost anything you can kill, is kill a dream. So, that would have, I don't want to be a naysayer, but that would have crushed our sport. We can sit around all we want and go, oh, you haven't seen how many kids were at this tournament, that tournament. Okay. But in the end, where is the end result? And who do we celebrate? I just have to telling you, I think Carell is the greatest wrestler of all time. And I'm not going to go find that guy in the Southern California 5 region, okay? I'm going to find him at the Olympic finals, okay? So, that's just a big deal. Let's finish up with this. Yesterday, this is what I worked off of yesterday. I set up the PowerPoint ahead of time, and then this is what I tried to teach yesterday. So, you ask your kids to give 95% positive attitude, persistent grit, have fun, develop confidence. It's not saying wrestle folk style freestyle. It's saying just come in and enjoy our sport in different ways and learn. And so then we got terminology, centering. Yesterday, the kids that was in this room did a great job of, and there's some, I just picked this terminology because this terminology they probably didn't know, okay? Many of the kids that walked in this room yesterday did not know this terminology until they came in yesterday, maybe, okay? But we start talking about inside the frame, sit in a chair. I'm telling you what, the younger kids I had, I kept saying inside the frame, and you saw this yesterday. There was kids making the adjustment immediately inside the frame. They'd step outside the frame, they were hitting this hip toss drill, and they were going here. As soon as you said, no, stay inside the frame, they're like here, or here, or yeah, right against that toe. Now we go. Now put your butt outside the frame and throw. And they picked up like that. The neat thing about it is, sometimes coaches are saying, I can't learn that. The kids never say stuff like that. You can teach kids 5 more languages. And they would eat it. I mean, get a kid on a video game. My God, I don't even know how to turn the thing on.
He'll learn that in a second.
Yeah, right. I'm terrified of stuff like that. I'm in school and they're constantly throwing new technology on us, I'm that old dog. I'm in my 30th year of teaching now, and all of a sudden I get this little communique that says, go out here and do this. As soon as I get one of those emails, I got one on Wednesday, it's like, heart goes, oh God. You know, because I know what I gotta do. I gotta bring them on the board like this, and I got all of my kids out here. But anymore, I just embrace it. I go, all right, who's got this? Oh, coach, do this, do this. Okay, here we go. You know, and then they can do it. They can do it like that. They don't know a darn thing about U.S. history, but my God, they can do that. So, here's Mango, and he's sitting in a chair. You know? This is lifting and pulling back, but look at this technique. If you can learn to get vertical back to horizontal legs, you can produce some wicked energy. And it's going backwards. And yet, freestyle and folk style, everything is about going forwards. As soon as your kids learn backwards, I mean, drive your dang car without reverse. That sounds pretty stupid to me. Because last time I checked, I want to pull out of my driveway. Okay? But yet, we have coaches that go, you see, you got me fired up now, right?
Yeah.
But there are coaches that go like, Greco, I don't need Greco. All right, you don't need to reverse in your car? It adds another dimension to driving. And Greco is backwards. As soon as you can pull backwards, I can pull you into a throw. And if your headlock is your favorite, then backwards has to be one of your driving engines. And if it's not, we got to fix it. Okay? Headlocks that only go forward, you will roll through those so many times. This is one of the big problems with kids throwing headlocks. Kitty headlocks, you know. Yeah. And they're like, man, how'd that go wrong? Let's see. Let's count all the ways that it went wrong. Okay? Because the headlock should have been over here. That's where the headlock should have been. And yet, you see headlocks go that direction, and kids and coaches, and they're all sitting around going, yeah, he got rolled through, I don't know how that happened. Well, quit scratching your head and figure it out. You know? Because your kid's going to keep throwing bad headlocks. What's going to happen?
So you set that up with an arm pull? Pulling the tricep?
That, and, you know, what we did yesterday with the kids here, you know, and as soon as we get, you saw the light come on some of these kids, man. I'm in a super tight A-frame, maybe, and I yank him down this way, and he comes back up. He's not going to let me in underneath this arm. I can't go here right now, okay? But as soon as he decides I can't do that, I just throw and walk backwards. Oh, it's coming. You know, it's going to happen. Whether that arm comes back in front of me or not, I'm still going to get it. So, as soon as here's the deal. This is such a basic of wrestling.
Do you teach all three throws, or three throws from that?
Yeah, if it's a 2-on-1, we're throwing. We're throwing someplace. Because 2-on-1 is everything we do in high school. So you can get in, once I get my kids into a 2-on-1, then I just teach all my throws out 2-on-1. Like we don't do a front head hold. I know it works because Rob Herman's awesome, but I don't do this anymore. Okay? Because I had a kid this 2 weeks ago. Oh, the Mo Wiles kid didn't know any better. He's doing this. He's trying to pull head down. Kids, he's doing this. Right. And as I start to pull down, hey, you walk me out of bounds, okay? Go. If you attack the head and he's good and he brings his elbows in, he'll walk you out of bounds. Mo Wiles puts himself behind 2-0 on 2 walkouts. I'm like, quit, go to the head! Just go find his arm! Because now, here, I'm pulling down. Now just kind of bull up with your neck. Don't let me. Now where am I going? I'm going backwards. Now if he says, oh, you're going backwards, I'll help you out. And by the time you figure it out, you're out here. Then he pushes you out, right? Watch this. Push me out. He's about to get thrown. Okay? Because now I have something totally different than I had at head. I got an arm. Now I can level change differently. There's so many different ways I can hit this. Because now, if I get to here, he doesn't let me in here, again, we'll go slow. So push my hand out. Push my hand out. All I do is this, catch. I just scored 4. I did nothing. Okay? So, those are, if we get kids going backwards, 7 basics of wrestling. And yesterday, I told you about the levels. But this is another piece of that. Level 1, stance, motion, level change. Every one of my kids knows it and they can tell you. Level 2, penetration and lift. Because these 2 levels is what I need for high school wrestling. Okay? But how do do you get done with a kid and go, yeah, that's all I'm teaching you? But when we start going back step, back arch, now you're going to a higher level. And you talk about learning, your kids are going to learn so much because that's the stuff that it takes. I mean, how many times do you have to do this?
That's when it gets fun.
That's
Back
all.
arch, right?
Yeah. I'm going to take my lines of defense, I'm going to put my back to you, and I'm going to throw you on your head. Yeah. I just love things where people, it's clear to see who's winning this right now. But this guy is obviously pretty good. Look how hard he's trying to pull his head up right now. He's got a good post. He just got his hips bounced. But if he's one of these guys that if this guy doesn't bounce his hips and there's not this separation, he might not lose his position, which is crazy. He might be able to save himself because he's that good. I got a picture, it's on one of my notebooks. It's one of my favorite pictures of all time. It's because a guy's in a side body lock, the other guy has got a headlock, and both guys' feet are set so great. It's one of those rare photos where you can look at it and go, I don't know who's winning. You gotta let this play out. You gotta get the next photo to figure it out, you know what I mean? And there's those moments. So, you know, when you start talking to kids about protect yourself at all times, you know, you lose kids because they just don't take care of themselves. And in Greco, nothing teaches you to take care of yourself like Greco, because one mistake, one reach for the head. Tell a kid all the time, don't reach for the head, don't reach for the head. He reaches for the head, the guy ducks him, throws him on his head. It's immediate feedback. So, bent elbows, knees, and power position. Hand fight, palms, not fingers. Okay? Rick Tucci, the head ref of the United States, he says don't fight fingers. Because if you finger fight, you're going to bring attention to your hands. We get a lot of hand control on people, both internationally and high school wise, because we do this. We wrestle palms. And a game we play all the time is, this is an equal lot. And we can work here. We can wrestle here. And you talk about getting your kids stronger on their feet when they make contact. You know why so many kids, they get here and they ain't doing that? Because they don't want contact. Because contact means I'm not in control of my feet. I've got to adjust what I'm doing with this guy. We do this all the time. We're in here. We just work from here. Then you get kids to where they can work from here, and pretty soon I pull this arm and he doesn't want to pull, takes it back. Now I'm in. So we work that. We play a game. Step on a foot. Okay? Don't let me step on your feet. You can step on mine when you think. It is one of the greater drills in helping your kids learn shot recognition early. Kill the muscle when it's a baby. If your kids are shot recognition at this moment, you're in trouble. Well, we can sit in the chair and go, he's coming. He's coming. Oh, he came.
Yeah, oh, shit.
So, another one of those. Yesterday we talked about stop a lift with a lift. You talk about, in Greco, you have to know that. In high school, it's nice to know it. Single leg lift. Lift it. Okay. Okay, again. Same thing. Same thing, same effort. But I'm lifting really hard. So many kids, they're one-sided. They're like, take the lift. I got the weight back, coach. Oh, darn. Okay. No. In Greco, they'll do this. Go. I'll just play this game. Or I'll be Ryan Mango in the Nebraska match. Everybody saw that one, right? It's right here at Stanford.
Nice. Yeah. Beautiful.
Pull it up. Oh, you want your head on the inside now? Really? Okay. Bam. Skies, pins in. Okay, there's a little Greco showing up. So, the basics of head up, butt down, foot motion, constantly going. So, power line work, throw heels, all that stuff, all those basics we did yesterday. Get a kid to switch her step. Shot. Okay, if a kid can do this, they get better at this. Okay? Because kids try to go around singles this way. And the whizzer's always there. I can almost beat a whizzer off of rotate. Now, 3 in a row, step up and go. So, just over and over again, I could count out all of the different things that, this is one you don't see. Oh, you focus now. But you see it all the time in Greco. And I don't get caught up in, well, a spin isn't functional then. Okay, but the ability to learn the spin is extremely functional. To what it does to your footwork, to your level change. Your level change becomes so much clearer because it has to be. It has to be ready when you get there. So, part of warm up that hip toss drill. We do that. This over-under position. The knuckle grip. Step, evaluate, elevate, underhook, close down to the overtie. Getting kids to realize there needs to be 2 and 3 and 4 things done anytime you're in contact with another person. Okay? And what you're going to do with it. And looking at that. The pummeling itself will make you just a better wrestler because pummeling is nothing more than looking for inside position and dominance. And if you pummel a lot, then your kids get better at it. They're not going to go out in a high school match and start pummeling. It's not going to happen. But when a guy digs for inside underhook, you're going to know exactly where to go to get out of it early. You're going to kill the monster early. Okay, baby. And again, this is the biggest thing, is that all of your ties will get so much better. And if you don't win the ties, I don't think you'll win the takedowns. We beat people that are better than us because they can't get to our legs because we got to hold their hands. If I have a hold of one person's hand, come on up. Are you right-handed? Okay. This is the hand I want. If I watch somebody in a tournament and I find out they're right-handed, I go to the kid and the kid goes, I go, hey, what are we looking at? Oh, right hand, coach. Okay, good. Go get it. Because once I have a right hand, okay, head outside single, go. No finish. Head outside. Okay, good. Now, head inside. So your right leg lead, you attack both sides that way. Do you finish that way? You finish good, you head outside? Okay. Because most people, if I'm right-handed, I'm going to go here, here's my head outside, finish. Here's my head inside, finish. Okay? You can look at someone's ears a lot of times and know what side they are. Because this is my bad ear. Here's my head outside single, bang the hip. Here's my head inside single, bang the hip. Okay? So, your double, lead leg in, okay? Now, hit your best move. We just tell our kids, you gotta have a hand. And because they have a hand, then all of our defense and all of our offense comes off of that. But it comes from hand fighting, and our hand fighting picks up because we spend 5 months hand fighting. Okay? 90% of a Greco match is not a throw. There's very little throws. It's all hand fighting. Hand fight and 2-point takedowns. Knockdowns, drags. Same thing you're using in high school. My heavyweight, I got a new heavyweight now. Just graduated heavyweight. He's 2-time finalist and 1-time state champ. And he's graduating. He's going to go play football in Dakota, South Dakota. And he's leaving, and I got this baby Huey kid that is about 6'3", 6'4" right now. First year wrestler. Just baby, But man, we've been working his butt off. And when I left on Wednesday, we spent a lot of time on this. Now I'm smarter, coach, I told you. I taught my heavyweight coach, and then he teaches. I don't teach my heavyweight now. But I said I wanted this. I wanted him to be able to go inside lock, because he's tall, But now I wanted to pull the face in and just work here. But don't throw it. How about we just go this way? Work. And then when he gets here, now go down. My coach was pissed off at me for 2 days. Because his neck was hurt, back was hurt, Because he went over and over again this thing, over and over again with this kid, And, but this kid, I think he's going to be something in the end, But he hand fights good and he listens. And he just goes out and he gets a hand. And then he says to me on Wednesday, he goes, hey coach, you're not gonna be there Saturday? I said, no, I'm not going to the tournament. He goes, so I'm gonna be in California. He says, should I sign up for Greco? Okay, quit asking me stupid questions. Everything else is good. That's a stupid question. I said, tell me the difference in heavyweight wrestling between Greco, freestyle, and folk style. Because I don't see it. Now, again, I'm a little guy, but I just don't see it. Big guys go out there and they boom, 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 and that's what they do. And you could watch a freestyle match, you could watch a folk style match, you could watch a Greco match. It's all the same. For heavyweight, I don't understand why you would not want to wrestle more times. You know, I told him, I said, if you go out there and you wrestle Greco and freestyle the same day, how many matches you get? Even if you lose, how many matches you get? I get probably 6. Boy, 6 matches a day, that's a good day, right? You go out there and wrestle one style, lose the first 2, you're done. You have 2 matches that day. Why in the world would you not wrestle Greco? So, listen.
I was just going to say, our first tournament a couple weeks ago, we all the coaches pitched in and threw me in Greco, and they're like, Coach, I don't know Greco. I had like 2 practices.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be all right, kid. After the tournament, they're like, hey, I love Greco.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There was like 6 of us.
I'm sitting on a train, one of those E-rails, coming out of the Atlanta games. I stayed up north there in north of the city, and there's a woman on there. And I look at her, she's got pins all over, you know, she's like 80. And I'm like, man, where are you from? She goes, I'm from Toronto. I said, Canada? Yeah. Okay. So, all the pins? She goes, oh, well, you got bad ears. And I go, okay. She goes, do you wrestle? I said, well, I used to. I said, I coach now. She goes, well, I love wrestling. And I go, really? That's awesome. So we start talking about it. She goes, tonight was my first time seeing it. And I was like, okay, you got all these pins, you obviously go to everything. She goes, yeah, I did a question yesterday. But you know, I've never been to wrestling. And I go to all the Olympics. I'm thinking, okay. She goes, I think wrestling's my favorite now. And I was like, but all we have to do is get this old woman in the building. We got to introduce more people to our sport. But it starts by what you did. It starts by introducing our kids to it. And there's just so many coaches, they don't want to do that because of the unknown that they don't have. So why would we limit our kids in that, you know what I mean? Because that'd be like me opening an email going, I'm not touching that one. Well, my kids don't get that stuff in. So, there's so many NCAA champions that have Greco background. And if you watch Joe Williams wrestle, he was here a lot, if you remember him. And this is like, right, he would do this for about 4 minutes and then hit you in a double leg you'll remember the rest of your life. And that was his whole game plan. I'm going to grab a hold of you, hang on, and then there's going to be this double leg. My 52-pounder was a runner-up this year. That's the game we play with him. Everything is, because I told you guys yesterday he gets tired. So I don't want him to get tired, so I don't have him shoot 10 times. I have him do all this stuff, and then the guy finally gets pissed off, brings his head up, and then we blast double him. Okay? But being able to tie up and hold and control the ties, we can't wrestle that way if we don't do that. So, and then hand fight, push-pull. The push-pull, we talk about it all the time, but you'll never get the pull down like you will in Greco. You just won't. Because the best pulls are one done with our legs. Lock, pull, with our legs. We got kids that go pull, and it's like they pull here with this little thing, you know? So, it's not going to fix that. They start going Greco, they'll start pulling with their hips and their legs. They'll get in that chair that we talked about. So, we must push-pull. If you want to create chaos and havoc on your opponent, get his feet moving. You know, we hit very few things. We don't even drill anything from a static position. Not even to learn it anymore. We make them learn it on the fly. You know, if you want to learn to run and jump on a train, then have the train moving. Okay, because most trains are going to be moving. So, and then again, stop, lift, with lift. It's critical on so much of our defense, our lines of defense is about stopping the lift. Breaking the chain of wrestling. The chain of wrestling is stance, motion, low chain, penetration, lift. Break the chain of wrestling as fast as you can. Kill the monster when it's a baby. Okay? So learning Greco, and again, I put these throws on there. I did that for you guys to say, don't show this to your kids. Okay? I don't know what happens to you. I set up recruitment tables at my high school, you know, trying to get kids that don't know what they're doing yet. And you set up a table, and a kid walks in sometimes and says, they look at the list and they go, wrestling's gay. And they walk away, you know? Sometimes if they say it's gay and they say they're standing and wrestling's gay. Okay. What are you doing at 3 o'clock? Come on up and check how much fun we're having. Because you know the real word gay means to be happy. So, come up at 3 o'clock and we'll show you some happiness. Okay? We'll put you in a padded room and then see how it turns out for you. Okay? But I have yet to have one of those kids that are doing that come up at 3 o'clock. Okay? But that bothers me a little bit. But you know what bothers me a lot? When I hear a wrestler say that Greco is gay. And I'll go, no, Greco's gay. I don't do that stuff. That's so foreign. And I'll go, well, what do you mean it's foreign? It's two guys take a hand fight and create an offense. What's the difference? They're like, oh, that throw stuff. Oh, now we're getting to the root of the problem. You're terrified of getting thrown. No, it's gay. Okay, quit acting like a 9-year-old and take your ball and go home because you're losing the game. Okay? Now, I gotta ask you a question. We know this happens, right? Then why in the world would we let it happen? Because what you're doing is you are putting and leaving a bad taste in someone's mouth or body. I mean, the bottom line, if they think that Greco is so foreign it's wrong, you got to get him in there. You got to put him in the tournament. Because then they're going to realize it's not, especially for a heavyweight. I mean, I don't even understand that at all. That's an easy one. So, don't do this. You know, sometimes, you know me, I get all excited about throws. I mean, I can be sitting and watching TV, and all of a sudden I've seen this throw a couple of times, but when they throw again, I'm jumped up again. I'm like, that's awesome, you know? And yet, I don't show it to people when I'm first teaching it. I don't come out and go, look at all these great throws we can do. Because you think that you're showing them something, saying, look, this is what you could learn to do. And they look at that and go, oh my God, that's gay. That's because they're terrified. So I would urge you to do that. Just sneak them into it, let them go and go, yeah, that's Greco. No, that's not Greco. Yeah, that's Greco. That's good Greco. Okay? Well, Coach, I didn't do any throws. No, and most Greco matches don't have throws. Most Greco matches don't have throws. But yet that's what we're known for, the big throw. Okay? So, I like the new rules. I don't like the fact that we took the 5-pointer out of freestyle. I don't like that. Because first of all, you know, I make fun of freestyle a little bit because their 5s are never as good as 5s as Greco 5s. But they're not supposed to be. You know, as an official, I reward 5 much easier in a freestyle match than I did in a Greco match. They don't even have to accompany the guy, okay? But the deal is about a 5 is that you're taking much greater risk at throwing a 5 in freestyle. Because the guy can hook your leg. That can hurt a lot, okay? You get hooked in Greco, you get mad. You know? Freestyle, you're supposed to get hooked. So, arm spin, no finish. We didn't get to this yesterday. It was one of the things I didn't get to with kids, but I'm telling you what, you talk about getting your kids better at their feet. We did a drill that helped them on it, but we didn't teach this no finish. So he grabs here. As soon as he grabs, I just post, set, go. Right here. And then I come up and I do this and he does the same thing. He just catches, yep, arm spin it through, go, right there. Now, within about 5 or 10 of those, his feet won't take that second step. On his way around, he'll be fixing his step to where his feet are right. It's crazy how good it is, okay? And you talk about a kid getting him to step back up. Again, in folk style wrestling, if I drop in on an inside single, now drop down on me. Okay, I'm here. Now, right now, I want to do a couple things. One, I either want to run the corner, and right now I don't want to run the corner because I got a bad angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center post up, and I'm going to try to come up here, okay? This is where I'm coming. But now, this guy says, don't let me do that, okay? Ready? Then I got to get in the corner again. And if I can't get the corner, now I'm going to go peek out. But I'm giving myself options of forward and backward, okay? What direction do you go in a front head hold? When you get caught in a front head hold, where do you go? Backward. Better go backwards, because the problem is this. If I get you in a front head hold and he defends, go backwards. It's more space that I got to do to try to get the corner. But if he stays still, what is more embarrassing than watching a kid do this? Put both your knees on the mat. Gets crunched in, the guy goes around and does this. And that's 2. Are you kidding? That kills me. I want to run out on the mat and grab my kid right there. You know? You let someone go around behind you without motion. It's embarrassing. Okay? And, but if you are moving backwards, then you're protecting yourself from front head hold. You're constantly relieving pressure. But that whole idea, I'm going backwards. You know, we have a thought that I make circular motion until he stops me. And then I make vertical motion. And if I make vertical motion, he stops me, I turn to circular motion. Well, if you throw Greco into it, now you've got the forward-backward thing going. The push-pull. You go push-pull, vertical, circular motion, this kid won't know where he's at in about 30 seconds. You'll dislocate and put him in chaos. Okay? So, partner work and dummy work. You know, again, once you get your kids throwing, we've got about 15 dummies, and our kids come in and they throw them, and we throw, during the fall, we throw a lot. During the fall, I work on 2 things. One is pinning. I call it fall work. And you get ready for a season by pinning. And we do a lot of pin drills. And one of the pin drills I'll show you just real quick that I've had a lot of success with, go down on your back and give me the crucifix. Okay? I'm here. And all we do is we go A-frame this way, right here. And now, my job is to keep you on your back. Go. And I don't change hands. I don't let my kids change hands. One of the biggest mistakes kids make, I think, is they get here and they want to put their hand change. As soon as you make a hand change against somebody good, transfer, guy's off his back. Yeah, dance with the one who brought you. Don't bring some girl to dance and look over and go, she's better looking. Okay? Because you might go home empty-handed, you know? But this right here, we do a lot of this. Exactly, your head position. Everything happens this so many times. Run your feet this way. Run into me and snuggle up. Where's my head? My head's bad right now. And kids, I have to fight this all the time. What my kids do though is, they learn to do this. And they bring their head back up. But in a lot of pinning, kids leave their head down. Because they think they're pushing down. They think they're backyard pinning. Okay? The number one thing about riding is about staying on top, right? So lift return, put them flat to the mat. In pinning, it's keep them on their back. The other thing I tell my kids is, if we want to create upsets, throw a really good kid on his back. If you do, don't let him off. He's like, well, he's going to kill you. He's going to kill you because you almost pinned him, right? So if he's on his back, you just go, okay, just calm down, stay right here. I'm good, I'm happy. And just stay there. But getting kids to stay on in pinning combinations, you know, another thing is like cradles. Kids get here, and all of a sudden they get here. And I'm like, oh my God, all you have now is your arms. You're taking away all your body weight. We won't do any of that. You stay here. And what we teach in cradle pinning is pin his butt first. All of our energy is this. I try to pin his butt. And you stay up. Pin his butt, and you go down. The other thing it does is it's like, oh, Mr. Referee, get over here. Yeah, this is the angle you want. This is the angle you want. Watch, now go. It's over. Let's pin their butt. Yes, sir.
It sounds like you're teaching the kids how to be a good counterweight. Basically.
Absolutely. You know in Greco,
Yeah.
we teach this. Teaches good. Where I'm in a good front head hold, and I take and I dump him over on his side right here. As soon as I do, I don't try to take him to his back. I do this. That's nasty, isn't it? That just sucks. Okay? But all it is I'm just letting it go. If we take him here, that's like, now pin yourself if you want out. If you want to breathe, pin yourself. And we try to talk all the time about having the kid pin himself. Let him pin himself. We don't have to pin him. Because when you try to put the far shoulder down on a good kid, that's right. If you want the bleeding to stop, just let it go. Let it go, it's okay. So, center your power hand, crash pad work. Last year I went out and bought 4 $1,500 crash pads. And my AD looked at me and went, 1,500? Well, yeah. They have this air cushion thing to them. They're not real thick. My other pads were too thick, so when kids were throwing, they weren't quite getting to the finished position while they were hitting the mat. So they were putting kids on it wrong, you know what I mean? I was like, no, I want a thinner mat, but I want a great mat. I want something that compresses, but holds and denies the energy. So I bought these expensive mats, you know. But now my kids throw them better. So, and they're light. So now we throw. We do a lot of throws where we throw and let go of the guy and the mat slides, and it absorbs the energy because the mat's sliding, and it doesn't beat you up as much. And if you're getting thrown a lot, you don't want that. So I would say what I'm saying is, if you want to take Greco to the throw side of it, you're going to need to invest some stuff. You're going to need to pick up some dummies, and you're going to need to pick up some crash pads. Okay? But there's a long time before that ever happens. You don't have to worry about that. Okay? So, kids taking solid lifts. Just fighting back inside. I mean, this match here, Coach Herman, how long was that match?
Where is it?
Paulson and Hall.
Oh, that was 2000?
Yeah, it's 2000, but how long was it?
Oh, it was like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, like 18, something like that. It's crazy long. And then they, then there's a winner. Dennis wins it, and then we get another Olympian out of it because Paulson goes home and he's waiting in his driveway for him. Okay, so we get another guy out of it, hand me down. So these are things that, again, you look at stats. We talk about stats all the time. But again, if we get kids to wrestle and we open up 1/3 more wrestling to them, again, putting that reverse in the car, doing stuff that you just don't get in the other two styles, then you're going to have kids that are better, more well-rounded, and they enjoy the sport. So, and we haven't, as a coach, we haven't left any stone unturned. So, that's it, guys. I'm going. Good stuff, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You guys will make a difference. If you go out there and you become a disciple somewhere, then there's going to be 4 more followers. But if nothing else, your kids, I promise you, will gain an advantage, coach.